Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash, and the bonus of the apostles, and elders, great millstone, the Shalom said, I can teach his word throughout the four corners, in true sincerity, and back on the lesson. To this man, probably Ba'ashem Yahushua, Lord, to be edifying us at the elect. Alright, the true name of God is Yahweh, which means he is, or he exists. The name of his son is YAHAWASHI, which means he saves or he delivers. Those are the names that we were supposed to call on in these times, alright, that we pray unto, that we give praise unto. And those are the names that's going to get us delivered out of, the coming trials and tribulations in the future. The topic of this lesson, is really just going into how we're going to be joint heirs with YAHAWASHI, how he's going to share his inheritance, with us. Alright. Because he said he will, and because we are the ones that's professing his name, alright, calling on his name, alright, not being ashamed of his name. Okay? Salakia. But I'm gonna start with it. Alright, because what does it even mean to be a joint heir, right? This is Romans 8:17. It says that in children, I'm gonna start at 16. It says, for the spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So, this thing is, spiritual first, always. It's always spiritual. Alright, so when we go out and teach the word, we talk to a specific set of people, namely the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we possess a different spirit than these other nations. Alright, it's evident that we are the children of YAHAWASHI. When we teach this word, this truth, it resonates with a certain amount of people. Alright, it's not an everybody, kumbaya thing. Alright, and even the way that we deal. Alright, that in itself, how we act, it's a witness that we are the chosen. Alright, and it says in the children and heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Mashiach, and if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So let's go into the word, right? Let me see what it's, I'm reading an NOT as well. It says, and since we are his children, we are his heirs, in fact, together with Mashiach. We are heirs of the Most High glory. But if we are to share his glory, we must also share his suffering. So, for us to even be able to be joint heirs with YAHAWASHI, we have to must also, suffer. Okay? We have to suffer for his name. And when we're thinking about suffering, you may think of it as a bad thing, but it's really going to be an amazing thing, because it's also going to prove that we are a part of the elect. Because when you read in Acts with Peter, I believe it was with Peter and John. Salakia. When you read the account with Peter and John, I believe it's here too. Salakia. And here you go, Acts 5:39. It says, and this other scriptures as well, how they were thrown in prison. It's early in the verse, but I'm gonna skip around. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. I ain't trying to make it too long. It says Acts 5:18, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. But the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. Alright, so Peter, alright, just Peter and John, I believe. But Peter, okay, was thrown into prison, but the angel freed them and told them to go and speak this word. So, and these are the same things that we're gonna go through. That's why we're gonna talk about the sufferings. Alright, being accused and being thrown into prison for the names of YAHAWASHI. Alright, because that's the reason why they got thrown into prison in the first place. Because when you skip down to 28, it says, saying, did we not straightly command you that ye should not preach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. So these wicked ass, alright, high priests, okay, told Peter to not preach in the name of YAHAWASHI, to don't talk about him, alright? Well, these wicked niggas were the ones to cause him to get falsely accused and etc. Alright? But they told him not to preach in that name. And it says, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So even though we're going to go through these different sufferings, we are to listen to what the Lord tells us to do, because in these latter days, they're not going to be the ones to help us, right? It's going to be the names YAHAWASHI and the works that we did, and the sufferings that we went through, and the humiliating moments that we go through for the Lord, that's going to prove us and also be able to deliver us, right? And it says, the power of our fathers, the God of our fathers raised up YAHAWASHI, whom he slew on and hang on the tree. Alright. Again, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Skipping down to 39. It says, but if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it. Lest happily ye be found to fight against the Most High. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of YAHAWASHI, and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. So, alright, so they was rejoicing that they were able to suffer for who? YAHAWASHI. To show you how important it is. Alright, the sufferings is not something bad to look upon. The scriptures call this a light affliction. So because we are suffering, because we are suffering for the names YAHAWASHI, we will be joint heirs with him in the kingdom. Alright. We will be joint heirs with him in the kingdom. Alright, let's go to joint heir. I'm gonna get in the blue letter slide. This is already here. Joint heir is a fellow heir. Joint heir, one who obtains something assigned to himself with others, a joint participant. Right, so the things that YAHAWASHI has been given, which is literally everything, he wants to share that with us because of the work that we're doing now. That's how we tell, brothers and those listening, that the work that we do is not in vain. Alright? YAHAWASHI told us that he will be with us all the way to the end. Alright, helping us, guiding us. Because the same way how we want to drink wine with him, he want to drink wine with us. He said it himself. He said he's not going to drink up this vine until the kingdom. Till we're there with him. Alright, so of course, since he's doing that, of course he wants to, share what's been given to him as well. Alright. It's not like Esau Edom would have just kept it all for himself. No. Alright, YAHAWASHI is going to share his possessions. It's like it. Alright. Precept to prove that is Isaiah 53, the last verse. It said, therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he had poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many and made intercession for the transgressors. So, he's going to divide the spoil with the strong. Alright. Everything. And what is that going to be? Everything. Being joint heirs with him. Alright, this is very great. Honor. Because again, this light affliction that's why the scripture says a light affliction compared to what we're going to receive. Alright. In Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 4:17, it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Alright. That's not what I heard. It's lucky. That's like, yeah, it is. Alright, it says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So we're not looking at, these temporal things, these temporal possessions, possessions. But we're looking at, the eternal things, being joint heirs of YAHAWASHI. Alright, that's what we're looking for. And the light things that we're going through is going to be to a much more, a much more heavier weight, a much more eternal weight of glory, as it's stated. Alright. These little, trials, these little, minor inconveniences, because that's what they are, inconveniences. Alright, it's going to be, so much greater. And we're going to live out these things and, live them out, for eternity. Alright, the many mansions that YAHAWASHI said is prepared. That's one of the things that he's going to be, giving to us, different planets. Alright, John 14, start at 1. It says, let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in the Most High, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. It's not something that he's going to, share with us. Alright. And it's talking about the planets, alright, the galaxies. Everything that's in space that, man cannot reach. We're going to have those things and possess those things, and multiple of them. That's going to be shared with us. And other things as well that's given to YAHAWASHI. Dominion, alright, over certain spirits. Dominion over the heathen nations. And having them as servants and handmaids. That's going to be, shared with us. Okay? This is Psalms 2. And start at 7. It says, I will declare the decree. The Lord Yahweh has said unto me, thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen from thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So these are things that YAHAWASHI already has, right? The heathen is his inheritance, to have him, to serve him. Okay? It says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessels. That's having them as servants and handmaids, as slaves. Alright, for them to be, alright, ruled over with a rod of iron. That doesn't sound like a sweet, rulership. Alright. It says, be wise now, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Shall the Lord howl with fear and rejoice with trembling. It says, kiss the sun, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Those are all they that put their trust in him. So, that's what we do, and we serving the Lord with fear. Right? Because fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And we're doing that, with fear of YAHAWASHI is gonna provide us a path to be joint heirs with YAHAWASHI. Alright, because as we're fearing the Lord, we're putting on as the elect as well. Alright, being joint heirs is not a light thing. Alright, being joint heirs is, inheriting what YAHAWASHI inherited from the Father, and him sharing it with you. Okay? That's why, again, we go so hard. That's why even when Peter asked YAHAWASHI, what shall we receive? He said 100-fold, right? Double, double and more, many more to come. All right? If I could find it, say our forsaken houses, mothers. And that's exactly what we did, all right? Because we see the light at the end of the tunnel. We seen our life that we was living, all right? And we seen what YAHAWASHI was offering, and we seen that this is the correct path. And not saying that was not saying that was the only reason, but it's many benefits. All right, this is Matthew 19:28, starting at 27. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And that's again, that's exactly what we did. We have forsaken worldly, worldly, attachments. We have forsaken dreams that we once had in the world. We forsaken it all for YAHAWASHI. All right, and YAHAWASHI said unto him, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man, which is YAHAWASHI, shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So, that's that 100-fold, being joint heirs with YAHAWASHI. Because that's what it means to be joint heirs, to participate. All right, as it said in the blue letter. I'll read it one more time. Or just one more time, just to spin back. All right, it means I'm popping up. There you go. Joint heirs is one who obtains something assigned to himself with others. A joint participant, right? What is it? Ooh, okay. I don't really say nothing. But yeah, we're gonna obtain something assigned to YAHAWASHI with, with us, right? A joint participant. But it's not just a oh yeah, I want, it's not just he just sharing it with, everybody, but with his men, those that, again, that suffered for him and suffered with him. Okay, we suffer for YAHAWASHI to be joint heirs with YAHAWASHI. Okay. It says in Timothy, if you suffer with him. Quickly. 2 Timothy 2 and starting at 11. We'll start at 10. It says, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Mashiach Yahushai with eternal glory. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us. If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful, he cannot deny himself. So, we suffer, for we can reign with Yahushua. The scriptures talk about his government. We go to part in that governing, body. All right. But you have to suffer. You have to show Yahushua that you want it. All right. So he put certain things, trials in front of us to prove us, to show us. Okay. Isaiah 9 and start at 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. His name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord Yahweh of hosts will perform this. So, we want to be a part of that government. All right, be a part of Yahushua's, governing body. Okay, to be a part of his, kingdom, to be the future kings and judges on earth. All right, for eternity. All right. With that alone, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakadash, and the bonus to the apostles, and others great millstone. Shalom to the Akim teach this word, the four corners. And she was straight Akim was out of here. Shalom.